know, that's the worst part. Getting kind of anxious thinking about it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been 27 days since Bo Cooper received an infusion of experimental CAR T cells. Today, he and his family will finally learn if his cancer has been eradicated.
You know, we're all anxious. I mean, we just need him to come in and give us the results, and hopefully, you know, it comes back that Bo's in remission and we can move on to the next step.
We live moment to moment, day by day, until we find out if this is the miracle or this is what's going to save our son's life.
How you doing, my man?
So. I have some pains.
Okay. Well, I mean, cut to the chase. You still have leukemia. You're not in remission. It's basically, you know, about a quarter to a third of the cells that they pulled, you know, were leukemia when they looked. So, you know,
Do we think that the cytokine release seemed a bit weak, the response?
my overall sense of it was that given the amount of leukemia that I know you had, and that the length of the cytokine release syndrome was a little bit less than what I would have maybe hoped for. So yeah, I had, you know, in the back of my mind some concerns that, you know, we had turned these things off a little bit, you know, by giving the steroids, which again, in retrospect, I don't think that I could have done anything differently at the time, given how sick you were at that moment. The important thing that I have to decide, or we have to decide together, is whether we can logically discuss, you know, doing this again. Because what it says in the protocol is that I have to, you know, believe that Bo derived clinical benefit from the infusion of the cells, and I believe that. And so that's one, and that, again, provides some justification to go back and try another round of cell infusion. I think, you know, everybody, hopefully, you know, here understands that, you know, without something, you know, this is going to progress. You've already saw how quickly your leukemia can progress. I think if we're going to do something, I think we have to do something relatively soon here.
It's a lot to swallow, boy.
Yeah.
I don't
Boy,
know
this
if
is-
there's much of an option, though, to be quite honest with you.
Well,
I mean, there's some foolish decisions to make, sure. Which I don't think Bo's much interested in.
Should try this, huh?
Yeah, what?
I regret the fact that I had to give him the steroids, because that is the major reason why those cells didn't expand as much as I would have hoped they would. But as long as I still feel as if I have something else that I can offer him, I'll do whatever work it takes to get to that point.
So now, again, I ask myself, why him? And then I take a step out again and say, what now?
One of the hardest parts of clinical research is that it is research and you don't know what the answer is. And you can develop all the supporting data that you can about why a particular intervention ought to help people. But until you actually try it out on those volunteers who are putting their trust and hopes in you, you don't know whether it's going to work. And yet, without taking that risk, without running the risk of failure, we don't make progress.
The doctors who choose to lead first-in-human trials regularly face failure and setbacks. And yet they persevere, because they know that in science, failure can often teach us as much as success. These doctors hold tight to the belief that what they learn will one day add up to something that changes the world, a treatment that improves and perhaps even saves thousands of lives. Join us next time on First in Human.